Dear students, hope you are doing well. Today's topic is about the input devices. We will further study about different types of input devices in this lecture. The first device that we are going to study today is digital cameras. Digital cameras has essentially replaced the more traditional camera that used film to record the photos. The film required developing and then printing before the photographer could see the result of their work. This made these cameras expensive to operate since it was not possible to delete unwanted photographs. Modern digital cameras simply link to a computer system via a USB port or by using Bluetooth. Bluetooth enables wireless transfer of photographic files. These cameras are also controlled by a microprocessor which can automatically carry out the following tasks: adjust the shutter speed, focus the image automatically, operate the flash automatically, adjust the aperture size, adjust the size of image, remove red eye when the flash has been used, and so on. The photograph is captured when light passes through the lens on a light sensitive cell. This cell is made up of tiny elements known as the pixel. The number of pixels determines the size of the file used to store photograph. Megapixels camera needs 42 megabytes to store each raw uncompressed photograph by reducing the resolution to, for example, a JPEG image, the storage requirement is reduced to 4 megabytes. The quality of the photograph also depends on many other factors such as the types of lens used, the lighting, and so on. Now we come to the mobile phones that have caught up to the digital cameras as regards number of pixels. The drawback is usually poor lens quality and limited memory for the storage of photos. But this may all change in next few years. Then we have the another input device that is known as keyboards. Keyboards are by far the most common method used for data entry. They are used as the input devices on computers, tablets, mobile phones, and many other electronic items. The keyboard is connected to the computer either by using a USB connection or by a wireless connection. In the case of tablets and mobile phones, the keyboard is often virtual or a type of touch screen technology. Keyboards are relatively slow method of entering data and are also prone to errors, but they are probably still the easiest way to enter text into a computer. However, frequent use of these devices can lead to injuries such as repetitive strain injury, RSI in the hands and wrist. I have also separate handout on what RSI injury is all about. It is in detail, and I will be providing that handout to you in the form of a PDF so that you can study in detail what RSI injury is. Then there is a concept of ergonomic keyboards. In that handout they have ergonomic keyboards concept also, they have mentioned in detail. You can study from there also, but let me tell you one thing, that ergonomic keyboards can help to overcome this problem. These have the keys arranged in different pattern as compared to a normal keyboard that we use in a daily life. They are also designed to give more support to the wrist and the hands when doing a lot of typing. And in an image, the keyboard shown is an ergonomic keyboard. Then we come to the pointing devices. The selection of an application often requires the user to click on an icon. Selection of an icon is usually done with a pointing device such as a mouse or a trackball or by a touch screen. The mouse is probably still the most common pointing device, comes in various form. The more traditional type with a mechanical ball arrangement connected to computer through a USB port. The more modern type that use red LEDs to detect movement in the XY direction. These are the type of optical mouse. Mice that use either of the above types of technology but use a wireless connection to the computer. When type of mouse is Whatever type of mouse is used, it will require an area of desk space to allow movement. They often require a mouse mat since some surfaces such as paper prevent the correction operation of the device. Depending on the type of computer, the mouse is fitted to with one or two buttons to allow for the selection and other functions. Many designs of mouse have a scroll wheel to allow rapid movement up and down screen. Then we have another pointing device, that is a trackballs. Tracker balls are seen more often in an industrial environment such as controlling room. Because they don't need to move, the trackball does not need any desk space or special surface. The operator is also less likely to suffer from injuries such as RSI. A ball on the top of the trackball is moved to control a cursor on the screen. As with the mouse, buttons are used to select icons and to carry out other functions. Most laptop computers have a built-in touchpad. This contains a tactile sensor which allows the user to control a cursor by simply moving a finger over the surface of the pad. Buttons to the left and right of the pad act in the same way as buttons on a mouse. However, by simply tapping the surface like this act as a quick method of selection of many touch pads. Now we have the next device, that is microphones. Microphones are used to input sound to a computer during a voice over in a presentation, part of a speech recognition system, part of a voice recognizing system, enabling a disabled person to communicate with a computer. Microphones are either built into computer or external devices connected through the USB port or using wireless connectivity. When a microphone picks up sound, it vibrates, producing an electrical signal. This signal goes to a sound card and it is converted into digital values and stored in a computer. If a microphone is being used in a voice recognition system, the user voice is detected and converted into digital. A few words spoken produce a digital wave pattern. Software compares this wave pattern to the wave pattern stored in memory to see if they match. If they match, then the person has been correctly identified. Only certain words can be used since the system is designed to recognize only a few key phrases. This technology can be used in a security system. Then we have the other most important factor of speech recognition. It is a different and more complex technology. This gains uses a microphone to input words spoken by a user, but this time the software does not try to recognize the person talk. The spoken words are recognized and shown on a screen into a word processor or used in another application. The basic difference to voice recognition are described below. Suppose a person is saying a word. The sound card in the computer will convert the sound wave into a digital form. In trying to recognize which words were being spoken, the software has to take into an account of different dialects, different accents, and so on, just to indicate how different this is. The two phrases recognize speech and recognize speech, if spoken quickly, are most identical. On a way around to this is to train the computer to understand a cross section of the people, but some problems are difficult to resolve. Human beings having problem with dialects and accents, so it should come as no surprise that this continue to challenge the software developers to of the speech recognition system. Both voice and speech recognition can be used in various other applications. For example, voice recognition can be used in car to allow driver to say command. Keywords have to be used so that the software can compare voice patterns with the limited dictionary of the words already stored. These systems are becoming increasingly sophisticated so that normal speech in the car does not trigger an unwanted response by the computer. Newer system